Avigyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Namah. Hari Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Reva Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaः. Vasudeva Sutam Devam, Kamsachanuramardhanam, Devaki Paramanandam, Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om. Sri Guru Namaha. Hari Om. The street light illumines the wedding procession, a funeral procession, and some procession of gods. The illuminator need not be affected by what it illumines. Where different things are illumined, there should be one illuminating agency. You are sometimes happy, sometimes unhappy, sometimes bored. If these different moods are experienced by you and remembered by you, you should be different from them. Supposing there is a blackboard, maths teacher has written maths on that. When English teacher comes, he can't write on that. He has to wipe out the maths and write on that. Next, when the chemistry teacher comes, he has to wipe out English and write chemistry. On the screen, supposing there is film screen, there is a procession, marriage procession. Unless that leaves, there cannot be the next scene coming on the screen. So in you, different moods are coming. Each has to give place to the other. For the screen, the consciousness in you, when it illumines one thought, it has to illumine the next thought. This thought has to move on. This thought can be a happy thought. It has to move on to give to an unhappy thought. When again a boredom thought comes, unhappy thought has to move on. Thus, continuously, there is a procession of different moods of thoughts before you, the consciousness, the screen, like the street lamp. Like the street lamp is not affected by the funeral procession or marriage procession, you need not be affected by happy thought or an unhappy thought. When you don't get affected by these different thoughts, it's not that you are a zero. It is at that time you are maximum happy, like in the sleep. In this sleep, the happy thought, the unhappy thought are not there. You alone, this consciousness alone is there, and its nature is maximum total happiness. So this one who witnesses the different processions, if you can identify that and say this is me, the processions are not me, then under all situations, you are happy. This knowing the one who illumines the subject, the spirit, the changeless, the happy consciousness is the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads. We had been told about that. We had been told how to recognize that which is there, illumining all the changes, itself doesn't change. We understood that. So that's enough. Let any thought come, because all sorrows, all happiness are thoughts. All sorrows, all happiness are thoughts. Thoughts come and go. I am the illuminator. I know that. After that, why study? Why do anything? Why do anything? No. You can change this pattern of thoughts. You can reduce these sorrowful thoughts. You can reduce the sorrowful thoughts, increase the peaceful thoughts. Because when you have reduced the sorrowful thoughts, increase the peaceful thoughts. In the peaceful environment, this consciousness is felt more clearly by you. To feel this consciousness, your real being, more clearly, reduce the agitating thoughts, increase the peaceful thoughts. How is that done? What are the thoughts that cause you agitation? When your ego is I, when you compare with others, when you think others are low, you are big. When you compare yourself, this ego, when you see yourself as one individual in the body, when you don't see yourself as the same self in all, because you are existence consciousness, all others are also existence consciousness. When you see yourself in all, you don't have negative thoughts like anger, jealousy, and all that. When you don't see yourself in all, you think you are this body, and that is called ego. And then you continuously demand, mine, I want. How can you be peaceful? All the time I want, I am disappointed, I am excited, I am humiliated, I am insulted. How can you be happy? When you know you are the consciousness, all others also are the same, then there is no humiliation. There is no comparison. There is no judgment. You are all the time happy. So we have to replace these thoughts of I, mine, with the thoughts of oneness with all, seeing the God in you, the consciousness, the life principle, the essence of all, trying to remember that, and therefore love all, therefore serve all. What happens? This ego, I reduces, and therefore it doesn't feel humiliated, insulted, it doesn't feel depending on particular things, no comparisons, no judgments. I need this I becomes less. This I gets more happiness when it sees itself in all, Because when you see yourself in all, you love all. Love is happiness. So when you love all, you get happiness from all. When you love all, you get happiness from all. So the secret of changing your thoughts is to shift your attention from this I, the ego, to the consciousness that is common in all. This process of shifting my attention from this ego, the particular name and form, and recognizing me in all, therefore loving all, serving all, is called yoga. When it is done through service, it's called karma yoga. When it is done through love, it's called bhakti yoga. When it is done through understanding, it is called jnana yoga. Bhakti yoga, jnana yoga will come only when the mind is little clean. So the simple method to clean this mind is karma yoga. Karma yoga is doing the actions for the good of others, not for the ego. Doing actions for good of others, because all put together is God. So to serve God, to serve a cause, to serve totality is called karma yoga. To do for yourself, ego, is called karma, mere action. Mere action produces friction, sorrow. Actions doing for the sake of others, which is called yajna, thins down this garbage in your mind, gives you more peace. That mind becomes fit for bhakti and jnana. So therefore, third chapter Krishna first started saying, karma is inevitable, action is inevitable. Do action, do dynamically, but do not depend on the results for your ego. Do actions for serving others, for expressing your love. When you do that, that becomes yajna. And this is the secret of the entire world surviving. God created various agencies like sun, moon, air, rain god, earth, fire, different agencies he has created, or he himself comes in those forms and protects this world. If sun doesn't come, there is no energy. If wind doesn't blow, you won't live. Earth doesn't allow you to stand. You will go down the earth. If there is no rain, there is no water. So we are living because of God coming in different forms, serving us continuously without taking a break, not expecting a thank you also from you. That is called spirit of sacrifice. So how are we living? Because of the God spirit of sacrifice. God spirit of sacrifice. You recognize this. And then you see the various potentialities in your eyes. Eyes sees. Can dead bodies eyes see? No. It's the light principle that makes the seeing possible. It's the light principle that makes the hearing possible. It is the light principle that makes talking possible. So it is this light principle that is giving you all experiences. So you are putting forms through the eyes into this life principle. Like in Yajna, we try to offer ghee to the fire. That fire god takes and gives it to various other devatas. That is called Yajna. You put ghee, you put fuel into the fire. That ghee, that offering what you give, the fire god distributes amongst other gods. Similarly, You saw a laddu. I saw a laddu. The consciousness receives it, tells the tongue, there is laddu, you must enjoy. The tongue tells the mind tells the legs, go, walk, take it. Hands, take it. Put it into the mouth, you enjoy. So all these eyes, ears, hands, legs, all collectively act as one, serve you to give you the happiness of laddu. So they are all called devas, productive potential, Gurudev says. They are all continuously serving you. And you give them, they bless you. You do not share what the gods are giving you with others. You only enjoy. That is taking God's property, not returning to all others who are forms of God. When you take somebody's property, do not return. Gods are giving you. He alone is in other forms. You don't share. You are called a thief. You don't recognize your living is because of food. Food comes from rain. Rain comes from yajna. Yajna is action. All this cycle you are not recognizing. Therefore, you are egoistic, you are selfish, therefore, you are not happy. So what should be done? You should act dynamically, but not for your own selfishness, not for depending on the results, to serve others. So that much has been said up to now. Just as an ignorant man works for his own sake, relentlessly, you should also work. But he is attached, you should be detached. He is doing for ego, you do it for service. So he has said, now you have learned this. You have learned this today. Now what you do, you go to class, you see your friends. They're all doing for selfish reasons. Don't tell them, oh, you people are sinners. It's not the way to do. You are thieves. You should not say that. Why? First step is to act. Act dynamically, even though selfishness. Next step is to go beyond selfish action. They are in the first step. If you disturb them, they will drop action. If you disturb them, they will drop action. Then what? They can't progress. They should act, but change their attitude. For that, you have to be patient with them when they grow, because growth is slow. You also grew that way. You should not disturb them. You should be patient. You should understand. You should sympathize. Supposing there is a procession going on, you want to change the route. If you go and stand before them, stop them, they will go by you and you will be dead. But you stand before them as a leader, start shouting Jindabad, Murdabad and all that. Slowly, without their knowing, take a U-turn. Then they come back where they started. So, when you want to change the people, go with them. Love them. Slowly, through your example, you are all the time happy, they are not happy. Through your example, let them learn. People learn more by seeing than by your words. So that is said in the next verse. Na buddhi vedam janayet Ajnanam karma sanginam joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan na buddhi vedam janayet. Do not cause confusion. Ajnanam, the less informed, karma sangina, people attached to results, joshayet sarva karmani, encourage them whatever they are doing. Vidwan, you, yukta samacharam, setting a right example. You do things in your way, right way. Don't disturb them. They will see you, slowly learn. So you should not disturb others. Prakrute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma kattahamiti manyate. Now, Prakrute kriyamanani, each one's nature forces them what they are doing. This applies to both. That is, the friends you want to stop, don't stop. He is going by his nature. Nature changes slowly. You go by your nature. And then when you go by your nature also, many times you will be disturbed because of the past habit. Because of the past habit, you also depend on some results. And you become disappointed. You feel sad. This I shouldn't have done. This I should have done. Why did this happen to me? All these thoughts will come because overnight you cannot become a perfect man. So what you do when these come, you have to know that my likes and dislikes are playing with their respective objects. Their respective objects. My eyes like certain things, it is seeing. My ears like certain music, it's hearing. My tongue likes certain food, it is tasting. Similarly, my mind is functioning according to its whims and fancies. I am not the doer. The mind, the sense organs, all of them are doing according to your likes and dislikes, impressions, inclinations, called vasanas. You can be detached like the street light. You can be detached like the screen. You be detached from what they are doing. Eyes are going after certain forms, ears are going after certain sounds, nose is going after certain smell. You be detached and just observe them. What happens then? Without your cooperation, they cannot do. So what happens then? They withdraw. What happens then? You will be happy because you are disturbed by their running after. When they don't run after, you are peaceful, you are happy. So, simple thing is when your mind is agitated, when eyes want to run somewhere, ears want to run to some music, you just say, that is my mind, that is my eyes, that's my ear, I am not the doer, I have nothing to do with that. So that is said in the next two verses. Prakrutehe kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma kattaha iti manyate. Tattavittu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayo guna guneshu vartanta imatva nasanti. The enlightened person knowing the role of these vasanas, these qualities, these inclinations, making actions possible, knowing their mutual role, he says, Guna Guneshu Vartante. Guna, my sense organs, Guneshu in the respective objects, they are transacting. Guna, my sense organs, Guna, the objects. They are mutually transferred. Why both are called gunas? Because guna is a quality. Quality of laddu is to be sweet. That guna your eyes like. So the guna sweetness is in the laddu. The like for that sweetness is in your eye. So both are gunas. Guna guneshu vartante iti matva asajjati. He doesn't get attached to any experience. And so again he is repeating what he said earlier because that's important. Prakrite guna sammudaha sajjante guna karmasu. Tan akrishna vidaha mandan krishnavitna vicharaye. People slow in learning, people with imperfect knowledge, if they are attached to certain things, you don't disturb. You do not disturb because they are also learning. They are in the lower class, coming to your class. Don't disturb them. Allow them to grow in their own pace. Help them through your exam. So now, having said, he is summarizing how to do these actions in the right way so that they do not bring sorrow to us. They eliminate the garbage in us in the form of subconscious mind, vasanas. They clean the mind and do not bring fresh garbage into the mind. How to act, how to make these garbage thin so that I can feel the presence of God in me. So that is one of the important slokas in Karma Yoga. Sri Krishna is telling here. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya dhyatma chetasa nirashi nirmamo bhutva yujyasya vigatadvaraha. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa. Renouncing all your actions. Krishna says in me, what is Krishna? The consciousness in you, the God in you. Mai sarvani karmani. Doing all our actions to know this Krishna in you, this consciousness in you, which is all happiness. For that sake, do action. So that when you do actions for that sake, you are cleaning the mind, you are not bringing the new dirt. So all the time, be conscious of this inner principle of consciousness, Krishna, Adhyatma Chetasa. And why does this garbage come to you? Because of the feeling, I am the body. Then what happens? All the time you think, I. You know who I am? All past. You know whom I am going to be, what I am going to do, all future. Remove past and future. What is there? Ego is not there. Ego is only past. I am son of so and so, past. I am a man, past. I am 10 years past. Oh, I am going to be engineer, future. I am going to be a millionaire, future. Remove past and future. There is no ego. There are no agitations. What is that? Zero. No. The consciousness, the street light that was illumining the procession, that is there. Past is gone. Future is not yet come. The present consciousness, which was illuminating them, now that they are not coming, it stands as it is, like the street light. And when it stands as it is, like the street light in this leaf, it is very happy. You will experience that happiness. Nirashi, not having all sorts of hopes of the future. Nirmamaha, all possessions. Nirmamaha bhutvaha yudhyasya vigatadvaraha. So, present, you have a situation. You have some work to do. Do not think about the past. Do not think about the future. Now, whatever work you have, however difficult it is, however unpleasant it is, knowing that you need that, it is given to you by God, it helps you to grow, free from all agitations, do that work, whatever is to be done at that time. It may be unpleasant, like you are a doctor, you have to operate on somebody and remove the leg, you should not get worried. It has to be done. If it has to be done to others, you may not be unhappy. If it has to be done to you also, you should not be unhappy. You should not be unhappy because it's necessary. What is necessary, we should do. Right? So, present work you do. Do not think of the past. It is dead. Do not think of the future. It is not yet born. Why waste energies? When you think of the past and future, your energies are wasted. Not only that, when that agitation, you can't clearly see what you have to do now. It's confused. So you won't do your actions perfectly. If you want to do your actions perfectly, agitation should be less. Then you should not think of the past and future. That way you work, keeping this, reaching Godhood as your goal, you will enjoy this. And when you do this way, everything will be progressive. If you don't do, he says, ye me matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha shraddhavanto anasuyantaha mutyam te tepi karmabihi. Whoever he may be, he who follows this instruction of mine, working for the sake of Godhood, cleansing himself from impurities of agitations of the past and future. When he works like this, he doesn't collect new garbage. He doesn't collect new garbage. Muchyante, they become. And whatever garbage is there, muchyante, he is freed from that. And what happens? Garbage is gone. The self shines. Self's nature is happiness. So now, reverse. Yetpe tadabhyasuyantaha anutishtanti mematam sarvajnana vimudanta vidhinastana chetasaha. He who doesn't follow this advice of mine, he doesn't have faith in that. He ridicules it. He criticizes it. Such a fellow is confused. His discrimination is gone. And then what happens? Out of no discrimination, this fellow destroys himself. And now, he is going to give us a complete technique of how to handle these vasanas, this subconscious mind, this garbage. How to handle. So for that, Krishna is very kind. He says, don't worry. If you have some challenges bothering you, if you also have some likes and dislikes, if you also sometimes feel jealous, angry, don't worry. It's natural. It's natural. Don't worry about that. It's natural. But you should not say it's natural and allow it. It's natural, but you should change it. What is natural? When they are done, only animals do. They like passing urine wherever it is. It's natural. You should not do. You also feel like going to urine, but you should do it the right way, right place. So it's natural for anybody, sometimes being angry, sometimes being jealous and all that. So don't get depressed, but change yourself. Change yourself. For that you should know the scheme, how to change. For that, first verse is encouraging. Sadrusham chestate swasyaha prakrite jnanavanapi prakritim yamti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. So many years, so many janmas you have gathered these impressions. Just now you are wishing to get rid of them, it won't go. They will force you to do something. Then how to get out? Indriyas yate ragadvesho vyavastito tayoho na vashamagachet tauhi asya paripandinau. See, this like and dislike are natural to the senses. Means mind also. So it's natural. So what you do? They want to go, you say no. You don't cooperate. Natural to the mind, natural to the senses. You say no. I am God. I don't want these things. I am independent. I have the happiness in me. I don't want to be a servant of my servants. They're all my servants. Why should I be servant of my servants? I don't want to be servant of myself. I am God. So exercise your right. Refuse to yield to these senses. In them, the likes and dislikes in there. Mind also has these likes and dislikes. But you refuse to be dictated by them. You put your foot down and say, I am the master. Because what happens is when you allow them to rule, they will rob all our peace and happiness. Like a man who loses his senses, gives total freedom to his staff, workers at home. Slowly they will loot everything. Sometimes, not necessarily all the time, because there are great people. But sometimes, when you are careless, it can happen. But there are also noble people. So therefore, you should know whom to trust, whom not to trust. You should have the control. People who are worthy of trusting, encourage. People not worthy of trusting, you should punish them. Similarly, the senses have the likes and dislikes. Sometimes they will give you good suggestion, do it, like the good servant. Sometimes they will try to pull you down, like the bad servant. So when they try to pull you down, tell them shut up. When they try to give you good suggestion, okay, let's go. That way you should manage these senses. And when you manage these senses, you follow your nature. Don't copy others. What is don't copy others? Supposing you like to read, for you, jazz music is not very interesting. But majority of your friends are going for jazz music. You don't have a taste. Don't imitate. You will not grow. It will be a problem because you start doing what you like and you cannot enjoy what they are doing. So, even though majority of them, and it's a fashion to go for jazz music, if you don't like, don't go. You like to read. You follow your inclination. Then you will slowly grow. That's what the next stanza says. Sreyan swadharmo vigunaha taradharma swanushtita swadharme nidhanam sreya taradharmo bhayavaha. You follow your swadharma. In that process, you become old and die. Your path of growth continues. If you take others' dharma, your own subconscious mind is there. You now pick up new garbage. Your garbage is not exhausted. You picked up new garbage. So that is really frightening because you are adding to garbage. You follow what you like. Gradually, you are reducing your garbage. So Krishna has completed the entire scheme of how to perfect yourself through action. Now Arjuna has some doubts. Arjuna vacha atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purshaha anichannapi varsneya palodivaniyoditaha. If the path you are telling is so clear, so meaningful, why people do not follow these? Why do they destroy themselves? Apam is sin. What is sin? That gives you sorrow. The path you said gives happiness. It's clear. Why don't people take to this and take to the path that gives them sorrow? That is what he says. As though forced by somebody. They don't also want to do, but they are forced to do something by something in them. Why do they do? Which gives them sorrow. Bhagavan is answering. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Kamayesha Krodhayesha Rajoguna Samudbhavaha Mahachano Mahapapma Vijnana Meha Vairinam. This fellow who is looting your happiness is one fellow, but two faces. That fellow has two faces. Desire, anger, both go together. When you have a desire, you don't get it, you are angry. All the time we don't get what we want, then you are angry. Therefore, Kama Eshaha, this fellow is Kama, desire. This fellow is anger. Why it is one, two? Why do you desire? Because you feel you are incomplete. Why you feel you are incomplete? Because you think you are the body. Why you think you are the body? Because you are ignorant of this consciousness, self, God. Ignorance makes you feel you are the body, therefore desire, therefore anger. So it is all one ignorance of the consciousness that comes in different forms. One ignorance comes in different forms. Kama yesha, krodha yesha, rajoguna samudbhava, rajoguna restlessness. Mahashanaha, great devourer. Whatever you give them, however much you feed them, it's not enough. You go on pouring ghee into fire, it will say anytime enough. No, alam is enough. Analam, not enough. That's why fire is called analam. Mahashano, Mahapapma, great sinner who destroys your peace. With the yenam, ihavairinam. Understand this fellow desire as though he is favoring you, but he is your enemy who robs off all your peace. Now, when it is said he is your enemy, we have to know how to conquer this enemy. Any enemy who is very powerful needs a strategy to conquer. You should know where from he works, who are all his supporters, what is his strength, what is his weakness, and then you should plan and conquer. So now the scheme of conquering this enemy is the last few verses of third chapter, which we will do next. Next week we finish third chapter. I give you the summary of fourth chapter. In future, from third onwards, up to 14 and 15, up to 12, I give summary. 12th I do in one class, whole chapter. 14 I do one class, whole chapter. 15 I do whole class, one chapter. All other chapters I give you summary. Totally, we may finish in next 10, 12 classes. So it's not too much. And you won't get this type of opportunity at this young age to listen to Gita 15 chapters. So somehow listen, your life will change. God bless you all. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Namaha.